Sometimes the answer to the things that we are doing is a simple answer, and that's okay. As a student, we don't realize how little time we've spent on the problem. I mean, you've already solved the complicated part, right? You already understand the problem. You know that it's squeezing, and you know that it's not supposed to be squeezing. Probably didn't spend as much time on this thumb over here. The bad news is that there is no secret sauce. There is no secret magical thing. The good news is that physical habits can actually be broken fairly quickly. But if we just introduce a little extra movement, right? Now, we don't want to perform that way, right? We want to be efficient when we perform, but we're introducing the movement just to bring awareness and to make sure that we're not staying tensed up, because we're recognizing that the tension is a problem. Hi, I'm Clay from the Cello.online, and this video is a response to a great question/comment I got on the channel about squeezing the thumb of the left hand here. This is a really great comment. I think it's a common thing that happens with people. And there's good news and bad news about the thumb and physical habits in general. The bad news is that there is no secret sauce. There is no secret magical thing that professionals know that you don't already know when it comes to fixing a physical habit. You just have to change it. You just have to do it differently, which isn't very pedagogical. So I'm going to give you some strategies here. Don't worry. But the short of it is that you just have to focus on it and not do it. I mean, you've already solved the complicated part, right? You already understand the problem. You know that it's squeezing, and you know that it's not supposed to be squeezing. And sometimes, and this is part of the learning experience in learning the cello, sometimes the answer to the things that we are doing is a simple answer, and that's okay. It's not always a simple answer. In this case, and usually with physical stuff like this, physical habits and squeezing and whatever we're doing, and bad bow holds, habits, there is a simple solution. Now, the part that's not simple, all right, or I would actually say the good news, okay, so the bad news is there's no secret sauce, right? You just have to do it. You just have to focus on it. The good news is that physical habits can actually be broken fairly quickly. When I say fairly quickly, I mean in a few weeks, in a month or two, right? I think you could be on your way to much better habits if you follow the prescription here, okay? If there is a secret, okay, if there is some magical thing, it's that as a beginner, as a student, we don't realize how little time we've spent on the problem, okay? Because we're trying to figure out our bow hold, we're trying to figure out the notes on the page, we're trying to play the thing, and we're in the practice tornado, right? We're in the cyclone, going around trying to focus on all the things. And the reality is that we don't realize is that we've spent probably 1 or 2 times out of the 50 things that we were trying to think about during our practice session, probably didn't spend as much time on this thumb over here or whatever it is that we thought we did. So 2 strategies are, number 1, set a timer. I think this teaches us great time management when it comes to practicing. Set a timer, say I'm going to play through whatever I'm working on, or I'm going to play my scales, and I'm going to set the timer on 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute would be a lot, right? 3 minutes, excuse me. And I'm just going to focus on this thumb and relaxing it and making sure it's not squeezing, right? And I bring my awareness to that back here, all right? And I check in on it while I'm playing. Boy, when you do that, just like when you focus on your little finger over here on the bow, everything hopefully will feel very different, okay? And you'll realize, oh, yeah, I've not been focusing on that very much, okay? Or, you know, timer is great, or a number of times, right? I'm going to play my scales 5 times and think of nothing but my thumb, okay? Or nothing. I'm going to think of only trying to relax this thumb, or I'm going to play through my pieces 2 or 3 times, and I'm just going to think about this thumb over here. Then it will get better. Then it will get better, okay? And, you know, in our minds, it feels like we've thought about it a lot. It feels like we've been focused on it. But I can promise you, if it's a problem, okay, and you see it cropping up, probably haven't spent some really quality time on the physical thing. Now, another strategy. Okay, so use a timer, use a number of times. I'm going to play 5 times, 10 times, whatever. Another one is just to bring awareness to this something, right? And you can just insert a little movement, a little extra movement back here, okay? Like my, just wiggling it back and forth, right? Because movement is what relaxes us, right? When we're stiff and we stay in one place for too long, that's when we got the tension, right? And it just kind of builds up and we just kind of stay there. And then that's when we have injuries and all sorts of bad things happen. But if we just introduce a little extra movement, right? Now, we don't want to perform that way, right? We want to be efficient when we perform, but we're introducing the movement just to bring awareness and to make sure that we're not staying tensed up, because we're recognizing that the tension is a problem. So if you've watched anything on the channel here, you know I'm a big fan of hot cross buns. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play hot cross buns, and we're just going to insert a little thumb tap, okay, here on the neck while we're playing it at the wrist, like this. Tap, tap. I'm tapping back here. Yes. Tap, tap. All right, so let's bring up the split screen here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So let's do the hot cross buns here, okay? And so you can see the thumb over here from this angle. You can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to go... I'm going to give it a little tap there during the wrist. It doesn't have to be a tap, it could even be a wiggle. Now, if you're just starting out on your cello journey, or you are a beginner of some sorts, maybe you do it pizzicato. I'm going to play all the way through it using the bow, but maybe you don't want to be thinking about the bow hold or all this stuff over here. Remember, this is a left-hand thing that we're trying to solve, so you're just trying to bring awareness to your thumb by doing this, all right, so that you can learn to focus on it and relax it so that it will stop squeezing. Yeah? So we're going to start on the A string. We're going to go all the way down to the C string. Here we go. 1, 2, A string first. And that's it, okay? Let me know what you think of this, all right? Tapping this thumb, moving it around, all right, so that you can bring awareness to it. And don't forget, use the timer, okay? Set a timer for a certain amount of time, or say you're gonna play this whole exercise 3 times through all the strings, just focusing on your thumb, all right? And hopefully, eventually what will happen is that you'll learn to focus on this thumb here, all right, and you'll be able to relax it and keep it from pressing without the tap, okay? That you'll be able to play all your other scales and whatever you're playing here at this point in your cello learning, that you'll be able to play through it and keep this thumb loose and relaxed, okay? But let me know how the tap exercise goes down in the comments. And if you're seeing this video for the first time and haven't seen the adult beginner cello course and the PDF to go with it, I'll put a link right here to that playlist.